You already know what time it is. Hi, my name is Stephanie J. Welcome back to my channel, The Outcast Speaks. And on this channel, we talk about being the best version of ourselves. So when you see my face popping up on your YouTube feed or on your phone, you click on my video, whatever the case may be, you already know we are going to get deep down into the soul. Sometimes it's superficial, but for the most part, we dive in deep, okay? So, today I want to talk about how to be the most magnetic version of yourself you can be, how to step into that magnetism version of yourself, how to attract all the things that you want into your life, how to have that je ne sais quoi about you. A little backstory is that, so a little backstory is there oftentimes I get random people just come up to me and not only tell me their life stories, but also I also have like people who read energy and psychics and all that stuff just tell me that I have this aura surrounding me. And not only that, but also just, I don't know, like people tell me that there's just something about me that is very drawing. My Haitian accent's coming out, but that's very drawing. Oh my goodness, that is very drawing about me. And it's not something that they can really put their finger on. And I already know what it is. It's because I keep my aura, my soul, myself in check. I always make time to check in with myself and check in with the present to just make sure I know how it is that I'm feeling at that very moment. No matter what the moment is, I always make space for myself, and I always make the time to check in with myself and make sure I understand what it is I'm feeling at the moment and where it is I want to go. Because I really didn't start getting compliments about my aura and my energy until 2022. It wasn't until 2022 that people just started commenting on the power of my presence. There has been a time where I would walk into a building and I've been told that my presence is felt before I'm even seen. And I don't know, like when I was first told that, this was when I first started working on myself and starting my journey of not only personal development and growth, but just my journey of really discovering who I am, or so my journey of self-discovery. And when people would tell me that my presence would be felt before they even see me, I was just like, at first I thought they were lying, because it was just two people in particular that I would remember that would say that to me, and they were men. So you know so I really just didn't I didn't take what they were saying seriously, because I really just thought they're just trying to make me feel good about myself because they're men. But when total strangers would just come up to me and tell me that my aura, like there's just something about me that's very attractive, and not on a physical level, but really just there's just something about my presence and my energy that's very attractive, and it's just very drawing. That's when I was like, okay, maybe those two were onto something, and I just didn't understand what they were onto. I didn't realize it until more people started coming up to me. And also I also want to say that when you have that aura or that energy about you, people trust you more. And there's been times when, okay, so I went to school for psychology. I have a psychology degree, and it was my dream once upon a time to be a psychologist. I don't really care to do that anymore, but it was my dream once upon a time to be a psychologist. And I would find very often that people would just come to me and talk to me about their issues in their lives. And when I say people, I'm not talking about my friends, my family members. No. I'm talking about complete strangers, like strangers I would just say hi to or just pass by, or strangers I would just meet in a grocery store and just randomly strike up a conversation with them, and they would just start telling me their life issues and their problems and stuff that they're going through, and I would always be like, why is this happening? And don't get me wrong, it's not something I've ever been annoyed of, but it always just would have me questioning, like, why is this happening? Why do people feel so comfortable to just be vulnerable with me? Because let me tell you something. I wouldn't say that I'm not a vulnerable person, but I'm not going to just walk up to a stranger and just explaining my business to them. Like, that's just none of their business, you know? So I would always wonder why. Like, why are people just coming up to me and just telling me their issues and their problems? But as I continued on my spiritual journey, I realized it's because there's that aura, or that presence is just, it's what I give off. It's the energy that I give off that feels welcoming and warm, and they trust me even though they don't know me. So I am going to run through about 8 tips and strategies of what you can do to also work on having that warm, magnetic energy or a strong presence about you, if that is what you want. So, we're gonna start. The first tip slash strategy that I have on my list here is to lock eyes with yourself in the mirror. So, I know when we are not where we want to be in life, or when we're not happy with who we are, we tend not to lock eyes with ourselves in the mirror. We try to avoid that because you want to avoid the shame that you're feeling from not being where you are, or not being who you want to be. And I'm going to be a little vulnerable with you guys when I say the reason why. Well, I'm not going to say the reason why I know this, but one thing that I would find myself doing is, if I say I'm going to do something and I end up not doing it, it is very hard for me to lock eyes with myself in the mirror. Like, I don't even want to look at myself in the mirror because I'm so ashamed, and I just feel like it's like I feel judged in a way. Like, I'm judging myself, like, dang, why didn't you do that? You knew you were supposed to do that, so why didn't you do it? And I don't know, I really hope that, like, this makes sense, because that's just what happens, at least to me. Like, when I know I should have done something and I let days or weeks or months pass and I'm just procrastinating and not doing it, it's very hard for me to lock eyes with myself in the mirror. So strategy number 1 is to lock eyes with yourself in the mirror every single day. Even if you feel like you're going to be ashamed because there was something that you were supposed to do that you didn't do, lock eyes with yourself in the mirror. And when you lock eyes with yourself in the mirror, make sure you just show and tell yourself how much you love yourself, and find things about yourself that you are proud of. List things that you've done that you are proud of, and make a promise to yourself that whatever it is that is making you feel ashamed, or is making you feel like you shouldn't be locking eyes with yourself in the mirror, you are going to make it your mission to get those things done, however it is that you need to do it. Even if it's just starting, taking those baby steps of doing whatever it is that you need to do, make yourself that promise and keep that promise, because then it will get easier for you to lock eyes with yourself in the mirror. Number 2 is to keep up with yourself. And when I say that, this part is, so I wrote mostly external things in my notes, but it's both internal and external to maintain yourself, keep up with yourself. By external, I mean keep up with your hair, keep your nails manicured however it is that you like them, keep your have a skincare routine. And when it comes to internal, make sure you're meditating, and make sure you are doing any sort of meditation. Really make sure you're lit. Look, the music you listen to is extremely important. You could be doing the whole works, but if you're listening to trash music with trash lyrics, it's counterproductive, because you are pumping your mind with those things that you're listening to, those words that you're listening to. You're probably singing along to the words that you're hearing, and you already know what I'm going to say, but your words are extremely powerful. So the number one thing when you're working on just becoming a better version of yourself is paying attention to your thoughts, but also pay attention to what is entering your mind, what you're listening to. Just, I'm not saying to get rid of your, I don't know, mainstream music. I don't know what to call it, but like those types of music that doesn't have the best lyrics overall. You can, damn, honestly, nah, you should. I don't want to say that you shouldn't, but you really should, or at least limit yourself a lot to how often you listen to those things, because you have to pay attention to the words that you are saying. You have to pay attention to the words that is coming out of your mouth, and you have to pay attention to the type of things you're allowing your mind to soak in. So just, if you can't just quit listening to those things, if you really have to listen to those types of music, at least limit it, okay? But yes, when it comes to maintaining yourself, just making sure your hair is always done, making sure that your nails are well manicured, making sure you take the time to invest in your body. And what I mean by that is to work out, have a skincare routine. You don't even have to work out, but like move your body. Energy is stored in our body. So when we're moving our body, whether that's yoga, Pilates, going to the gym, you just move your body to get rid of negative and stale energy. I really feel like when I started working out, I just started feeling so much better about myself. Like, so much. And I'm not talking about because my physical appearances started changing, but I mean, it just feels like all of the stale energy that was in my body just started moving and shifting and leaving my body. So moving your body is important, and it doesn't have to be at a gym. You can go to Pilates, you can go to do yoga, you can dance, whatever it is. Go outside and go for a walk, 30-minute walk or something. Just move your body. Do something. Don't stay stagnant. Move your body. All right. So my next tip on the list, my number 3 tip, is to find your style and dress accordingly. All right. I know there are times when we just want to dress comfortably and we just want to throw on some raggedy sweatpants. And I'm there's nothing wrong with sweatpants, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying raggedy on purpose because sometimes we have sweatpants that's been sitting in our closet for years. There's nothing wrong with wearing sweatpants, but just like our body stores energy, our clothes store energy as well. So at least every year, try to donate your clothes and bring in new clothes. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with dressing comfortably. Just make sure you're doing it according to your body type and you dress neat. Okay, and keeping up with yourself too. If you're going to wear sandals and show your toes, make sure your toes are manicured, and make sure your feet is well moisturized. Make sure your feet is well moisturized. Make sure your elbows are moisturized, your knees are moisturized. Like, just keep up with yourself. Okay, dress accordingly. Find out what your style is. Like me, I'm a very, like, I love the preppy peppy look, but I also like the very classy and elegant type of look. And just go with what you like, wear with what you like. If you like the sporty look, wear that. If you like I don't know what other type. It's like I know, but it's not coming to me right now. But whatever type you are into when it comes to your dress style, dress accordingly, and also figure out what type of clothes in that style works with your body type, because we all have different body types. We all comes in different shapes and sizes, and we can all find clothes that fit, or that not fit our body types, but that complements our body type. So just finding clothes that complement your body type and your style, that is going to boost your confidence by like times 10. And it's also going to make you happier. You're going to feel happier because you're dressed, you feel good. When you feel good, that exudes from you and people can tell. So dress accordingly, that'll help you feel good. Okay, the next thing on my list, number 4, is work on self-control slash discipline. And that kind of falls in with the workout, because you have to be self-disciplined to work out, but you have to work on your self-control, you have to work on your discipline. I would say just to set something for yourself, like, no, if you're in your workout era, just and your healthy era, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not gonna eat no sugar, or I shouldn't say that because there's sugar in everything, to be honest, but no excess sugar, and you go to a birthday party and they're serving cake, having that self-control and that discipline not to get a slice of cake because you're you're in your healthy girl era, you're in your workout era, you told yourself you're not going to eat that extra sugar, that the excess sugar. And if you feel like you're not going to be able to control yourself, don't put yourself in that situation at all. Do not put yourself in that situation at all. You have to know yourself enough to know what you are able to handle. If you know you won't be able to handle that, don't go. And that example can be used for numerous of things, but have self-control and have discipline and stay disciplined, and that will help. Okay, so the 5th thing on my list is to journal, or go to therapy. I think therapy is extremely important when you start your self-discovery journey. When you go to therapy, you're provided with that safe space to say the things that are on your mind, and to say the things that you normally wouldn't say to someone that you feel like is going to judge you. So I believe therapy is extremely important, and I think everybody should go to therapy at least once in their life. And I'm not talking about just one session, but I mean for over a period of time, at least once in their lifetime, because I really do believe that therapy is extremely important. And so I know therapy is not available for everyone because of cost. So if you feel like you cannot afford therapy, or if you genuinely cannot afford therapy, then I would say journaling may be your next best thing. But before I touch on journaling, I do want to say that I have heard people say that they've been using ChatGPT as sort of a therapy session or a therapist. I have not personally used ChatGPT as a therapist, so I can't really speak too much on that type of experience. But if you do have access to ChatGPT and you want to try it out, then you should try it out. But journaling also is something that will help you on your journaling is something that will help you in your self-discovery journey, because it literally just helps you put everything that is on your mind onto paper. And sometimes just being able to do that and going back to read those words really just helps open your mind and helps you see and understand what it is that is going on in your mind, and what it is that needs to be dissected a little bit more, what you need work on, what you need to focus on, etc., etc. So journaling, yes, journaling is very important, as well as therapy. And journaling combined with therapy is literally chef's kiss. So the next thing on my list is to educate yourself. Now, when I say educate yourself, I'm not talking about the school system. There are so many ways to educate yourself that has nothing to do with school. When I say educate yourself, I'm talking books, I'm talking podcasts, I'm talking YouTube channels. There are so many ways that you can educate yourself. So what I would recommend is to find books and YouTube and podcasts on topics that interest you. Whatever topics interest you, educate yourself on those things, because you can always learn. You don't know everything. You can always learn on those topics. You can always feed your mind, feed yourself, feed your soul on topics that really interest you. And if it's something that interests you, you're going to want to do it anyway. You're going to be so into reading about it, listening to it, hearing about it. You'll get excited, and you'll learn something new. There are some things that'll probably be redundant, but there are also things that you're going to be like, wow, I didn't know that. Or it'll just make you think in a different perspective, which is important. I believe educating yourself helps you have more of an open mind, and having an open mind in this world is important, because the world is constantly changing and you're constantly changing as a human being. So just being able to have that open mind really just helps you adapt to changes a little bit easier, I believe. So yes, educate yourself, listen to books, read books, listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube videos. And I also wholeheartedly believe that if you are working on becoming the best version of yourself, when you do those things, every time you flip a page in a book, every time you take the time out to listen to a podcast or listen to a YouTube or listen to an audiobook, you are getting 1% better, because you are soaking up that information. That's number one. And number two, I want to remind you that everyone is a teacher. Everyone around you knows something that you don't know. You have to be open-minded enough to understand that you are a student. You are a student of the world. Everybody can teach you something that you didn't know, and vice versa. You know certain things that other people don't know. So just be open to learning, and be open to understanding that you don't know everything, and you might learn something from somebody you didn't even expect would know something that you don't. So just be open to that. Okay, so the seventh thing that I have on my list is to be more self-aware. And the way to be more self-aware is not only to get to know yourself, but understand that you are a soul living in this body, living in this vessel. Once you really understand that you're a soul living within this body, living in this world, that alone will help you become more self-aware, because then you really start to tune into who you are. When you tune into who you are, that's when you can really tune in to who you're supposed to be and who you have to become in order to be fulfilled, to feel fulfilled in this life. And that also is what really opens you up. That is also what opens up your eyes to opportunities you otherwise wouldn't see if you were just allowing life to pass you by and just sulking every day and not knowing that you're a soul having a human experience. Because that's really what it is that you're a soul having a human experience, and you're here to understand the world around you and to alchemize energy, manipulate energy. And that's gonna be another video, alchemizing and manipulating energy. And if you want to be one step ahead of me, I'm gonna tell you what book to read. Hold on, had to run to my bookshelf to show you guys this book. It's called The Kabbalion. This book talks about the laws of the universe. So if you really want to understand the human experience that we are here to have, and really understand the universe and all that's in it, how it works, I definitely recommend reading The Kabbalion, because it breaks it down. And it's really not a thick book. But if you're planning on studying it, it'll take you some time to get through this book, because it took me some time to get through this book. And as you can see, like, if I flip through, like, I literally was highlighting things. I wrote things in this book. Like, I would write in the book. I really studied this book. So this is a book that I definitely recommend to anyone who is interested in the learning about the laws of the universe. This is the book to read. But back to my strategies of becoming your best self. So the last thing on my list here is stepping into your power. Now, I didn't understand that we had powers until maybe 2020, towards the end of 2022, the 2022 2023. That's when I understood how powerful we are, because like I said, we are souls having a human experience, and because we are souls and because we are souls, we have so much power within us. Now, I'm not talking the supernatural powers that you see on TV, flying, telekinesis, and things like that. Although I have read that we have the ability to do that, I have not experienced that myself. What I can say that I've personally experienced is mind reading. I can make another video on that if you guys are interested, but you have to step into your power. When I say stepping into your power, I mean to realize who you are, to realize that you are a soul on earth having a human experience. Once you realize that, everything changes. You understand how powerful crystals are and how they work. You understand frequencies, you understand energy, you understand auras, and all of those things. So funny story, I was actually talking to my daughter and I was telling her how, well, okay, so we were watching a TikTok on, well, the creator's name is Blizzy, and she talks about, like, I want to say it's like scary stories, but it's like true stories, and she's also Haitian. So she talks about, well, stories get sent to her, and in the beginning of her creating days, she would talk about like things that would happen in Haiti. And now people send their stories to her, and some of them are also Haitians telling their story, and she just tells their story. So today my daughter and I was watching one of her TikToks where she was talking about being able to feel the energy of a spirit's presence. And I vividly remember when I was younger, and this still happens to me from time to time, but not as often, but there would be times when I would walk into a public place where I just feel a rush of energy hit me. And it wouldn't be just one time. If I go into that place regularly, I would regularly feel that energy hit me, and it would hit me so hard where my heart would start pounding, and I would feel kind of like, I would just feel weird, like my skin would start crawling, I would get goosebumps and all that. So yeah, once you step into your power, you really get tuned in to the things that are happening around you. If you want to have that magnetic aura, that just that je ne sais quoi about you, you have to step into your power. You have to understand and realize who you are. Open your eyes to who you really are, okay? So one way to do that is to get to know yourself, which I talk about all the time. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below. That is all the tips that I have for you guys today. Oops. That is all that I have for you guys today. And I have an honorable mention starred here at the bottom, so I'm just going to read it to you. To become the best version of yourself, you have to be ready and willing to make the investment. Becoming the best version of yourself is an investment. It is an investment not only with finances, but also energetically. You have to be willing to put in the work energetically. Even if you don't financially put in the work, you have to energetically put in the work, because it does take energy to become the best version of yourself. You can't lay around and sulk all day in your bed, in your room, on your couch, in front of a TV, and with your phone in your hand, whatever. You have to willfully become the best version of yourself. You have to know that that is what you want to do, and then go for it. You have to put the energy in. If you don't, then you're going to be in the same exact spot that you were in yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and before you know it, you're lying on your deathbed wondering, where did I go wrong? So that's all I have for you guys today. I really hope that this video helped you in one way or another. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment down below. And yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever it is that you want to do. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.